We spent 6 lakhs to get these cars, our most expensive purchase yet. Hi
Hey
guys,
guys,
welcome to our new channel. If this is the first time looking at our faces, I am Aarti and this is
Prithvi.
yes, we're an Indian couple who moved to Belgium in March 2023.
Yeah, so we started this channel to share our life experience as an Indian expat living in Europe.
Yeah, having said that, in this video, I would like to share my most traumatic experience yet, also called as the process of getting your driving license in Belgium. Let the trauma begin. The first step in the whole process is a theoretical exam. In order to pass this exam, you need to score minimum 41 out of 50. Even you score 40, you failed. So what we did to prepare ourselves to get through this, the following steps are something that we followed, and this is my own personal experience, and yours could definitely differ depending on your situation. In order to prepare yourself for this exam, you have materials available both online and offline. We chose to go with the offline method. So ideally, the book should cost somewhere from 50 to 55 euros. Once we got the book, we gave ourselves enough time, let's say around 1 month, to prepare ourselves with each chapter and also answer the questions that are behind. And at the end of the month, we made sure we were thorough with the whole book cover to cover. After finishing the book, we thought we were ready for the exam and we booked the exam date online. And after this, we purchased an online questionnaire where you have so many mock tests and you also have the latest version of the book online. Like, latest version is important because some things keep updating. And this mock test you can attempt as many times as you want, and the whole questionnaire is valid for 10 days and it costs 10 euros. So let me walk you through how the whole theoretical exam looks like. This exam has 50 questions and which carries 50 marks. So normally each question carries 1 mark, but there are some serious offense questions which carries 5 marks. But you will never know which is that 5-mark question, and everything is a multiple choice. Only when you make a mistake, if you make a mistake in a normal question, the penalty is 1. But if it's a serious offense question and you've got it wrong, the penalty is 5. So in order to pass yourself with this exam, you are allowed, or you can only make like 9 normal questions. Like, you can lose 9 normal questions, or like 1 serious offense question and 4 normal questions. But in case if you make a mistake with serious questions twice, it's done. You have to redo it whole time again. So the next fun part, or the most annoying part, is how the questions are displayed. So like I said, we are in Belgium, which is a European country, and there are 3 official languages: Dutch, French and German. So we don't know Dutch, and in such cases you can opt for a translation. Earlier, back in the day, you had a translator, but today times have changed. You can opt for a translation which is given with this headset, which is so bad quality, and the headset you have the English audio, but the whole screen is in Dutch. Every single thing, the screen, the options, every single thing is in Dutch, and the audio is going to be played only once. So you need to really remember every single option and choose one. So that's how challenging it was. So this is quite a challenge for people who don't speak Dutch. I totally get it. So in order to prepare ourselves for this exam, what Prithvi and I did was, we used to read each other questions when we were taking the mock test. So we kind of developed our hearing skills, and we can kind of focus when you hear the voice once and we can choose. We kind of prepared like 50 to 100 times, I would say. We took it so seriously, and we kept doing the mock test again and again until we got 50 out of 50 every single time, because the mock test, or like the whole book, is quite easier, but the exam is so challenging. Or at least the first attempt is really challenging. The bar is set so high that they can fail you, and the second attempt goes a bit okay, but we wanted to crack it the first time, and so we put our full efforts, and guess what we did? So to attempt the exam, you have an exam fee of 19 euro, and in order to get the translation, also called the very bad headset, you need to pay 44 euro extra. So it's in total 63 euros. If you fail your first attempt, it's okay, you can still have a second attempt. But if you still fail the second attempt, you need to go to a driving school and have a theoretical driving session for like 12 hours, and then you will be able to reappear for your third attempt. So you better be sure, if you're going to attempt for the second time, you're fully serious and you're fully there. So after you pass the test, you have a small eye test which just happens in the exam center itself. It's normal, it's not with the marks or anything. As long as you have good sight, you're good. So that's it for the exam. After passing your driving theory exam, you can move on to the next step where you get your provisional driving license. So once you've passed, you have 2 choices. So you can opt for M18 provisional license or M36. So let me first tell you what M36 is. This is like in case you have a person or your parents or anyone in general who can teach you driving, and they cannot be anyone, but they can be someone who have 8 years of experience with driving. And lately I think the rules have been updated where they also have to write an exam. So if you have such a person, you take them, go with them to the commune where they have to sign for you, like, yeah, they are going to be your guardian until you appear for your exam and you get your provisional driving license. The second type of provisional driving license which you can obtain is M18, which is the one that we opted because we don't have anyone, a guardian or anyone who can sign for us. So for this, in order to get your M18, you need to go to a driving school and you need to do a minimum of 20 hours of driving classes. It is not cheap, it is the most expensive part. So what we did was, once we are done with this, we went to a driving school. We really wanted to go to a good driving school, and also to consider, like I said, we're not good in Dutch, we don't know Dutch. We also need a translator. So there are like not every driving schools in Belgium which can also teach in English. So we chose AH driving school. There's also other VIB. These are the two good ones in Ghent. So we chose AH, we went to them and we opted for an English instructor and we booked our 20-hour driving session. You know how much this costed? 1,600 euros. The process is like you have 2-hour sessions each day and you can choose 10 days. You can choose your own timings. You can book the slots prior. And also another thing is, all these driving schools are in super demand. You really have to go up front. We had a wait time of at least 4 months to get into our driving school. 20 hours of driving is a minimum obligation to get your M20, but the driving school has their own rules. They will actually judge you when you're driving or in the whole process, and they will let you know if they can give you your final M18 or not. They are really strict, I'm telling you. I had a whole traumatic experience in these 20 hours because they were so strict, so straight, so upfront. You have to be able to take the critics. You have to be able to, keep going. You have to have an open mind. Honestly, to be honest, I cried every single time after a class. I called him and I cried. I'm not gonna do this. I'm gonna give up. I don't think I'm made up for it. Why would I have to go through this every single day? It is a whole traumatic process, but I'm telling you, it's a molding phase. Like, you really go to a good instructor and get yourself properly trained, you will never have to pay a fine. The fines are really heavy, but if you're properly trained, you're good for life. Almost by the end of 20 hours, they will judge you, and let's say the last 2 hours is always like the test, which the instructor is going to give you. And if you are not going good, they're going to take additional sessions. They're not going to hesitate at all. They're going to be like, take 4 more additional sessions, take 6 more additional sessions. But we were okay with 20 hours, and last 2 hours were like, okay, after 18, the last 2 hours were fine for us. Instructor gives you a go. After 20 hours, he is satisfied. He believes you can drive alone. You are not going to harm others or yourself. The driving school gives you a competence certificate, a certificate that actually says she is capable of driving by herself. So once you get that certificate and also the proof of your theory exam where you scored more than 41, you take these two, also book an online appointment, go to the commune and give this to them. And this is when you get your M18, the provisional driving license. Once you have got this provisional driving license, you cannot straight go to your exam. You have a wait time of at least 5 months. I really don't know why this wait time is, but you have a wait time of 5 months. This whole time, according to them, is a practice time. But honestly, for expats like us, we really don't have a car. We need a license to get a car, but you need to practice yourself to get your license. It's so stupid. I hate the whole system, but this is how it is. This is a phase where some people choose to opt for second-hand cars, where you can get second-hand cars with M18 because you're allowed to drive alone with the elbow sign indeed. But we had different ideas. We wanted to get a different car. We didn't want to opt for this. So that's when we were looking for other choices, and that's when we found Cambio. So Cambio is a car sharing app, and in which you can actually share the cars, or you can rent a car for like an hour or 2 and you can practice driving. They have few cars with Elboard which you can actually book, rent and drive. And let me walk you through the whole Cambio. For this, it's like everything is online. So you first go to the Cambio website. You need to pay a deposit of 250 euros per person. And once you have done that, and once you have registered yourself, saying, you give them a proof that you have, hey, I have M18, I'm going to be practicing for the next 5 months. So once they are approving it, you will be able to rent a car for an hour or like 2, depending on however you want. You can use the app, book your nearest car, the fuel is covered, everything is covered. For each hour, you pay 17.5 euros. It's also not cheap, but this is a step which you have to take it important, or you have to give some seriousness, because you just cannot get your M18 and you can just sit home like for 5 months and then go to your exam. You're gonna fail. You're really gonna fail. This is also a step where people don't practice. But what we did was, Prithip almost did like 2 to 3 hours of driving per week, but I was not really confident, so I did like 4 hours, let's say, every single week for 5 months. Yes, it is expensive. It was expensive, but money was not my concern. I really wanted to get through this process, so it was terrifying, it was hard, it was traumatic, but we did it. So another point to add is we chose manual car. We chose to drive a manual car and got a license for driving a manual car. You can also choose for automatic cars, which is quite easier. But if you have a license to drive a manual car, you can also drive automatic. If you have a license for automatic, you cannot drive manual. We're Indians, we like to do it the hard way. We chose manual. In my opinion, yeah, getting an M36 is your choice, but driving the car alone is the first step. And the very first time you take the key for yourself and drive the car is going to be a very horrible experience, because mine personally, it was the most horrible experience. I literally parked the car and cried. I had a big breakdown, because you are terrified. Oh my god, it's all on me. What if I end up in an accident? What if I make a mistake? And I had actually people horning at me, because yeah, I was so scared. But it all starts like that. Every beginning is like that. It has to start somewhere. So yes, if you are looking at it or if you're going through it, I would suggest drive it alone. You need to practice it alone, because having someone with you gives you confidence and you're better. But when you do it alone is when you really know how bad you are at it. After all the stories, having said it, every single thing has an expiry date. Your theoretical exam has a 3-year expiry date. Your M18, from the name, it has 18 months expiry. So if you don't get your driving license in 18 months, you have to redo the whole process again. 5 months have passed since the day we got M18. Like I said, it is money, so we wanted to do it as soon as possible. So we booked the first earliest date available. And yeah, you think you can just walk to the exam? No, this is how the driving schools make money. Here comes the exam package. A package which doesn't include the exam fees. Yeah, you don't have to choose the exam package, but in our situation, we don't have a car, so we need a car. We also need an instructor with it. And also, we also need a translator with it, because every exam happens in the official language and you need a translator to translate it in English. So you need all of this. And where am I going to go? I am going back to the driving school. And they have a nice package which cost me 480 euros. Let's talk about this package. What does this 480 euro contain? It has 4 hours of driving plus exam. So first, like before, let's say I book my exam date. 3 weeks before that, or at least like a month before, they have an appointment booked where you have 2 hours of driving. And it is that driving session where the instructor kind of judges you, like if you're really ready for the exam. But I would say the driving school that I went, they were really honest. And if you're not good at it, they're going to tell you, hey, I don't think you're going to pass, so you better postpone your exam date and practice much. But so when we booked, it was okay. When we made the 2 hours, it was a go for us. And then you go for the exam. And when you go with this package, you have a 2 hours of driving before the exam. So this is just to ease the tension, to take you through the whole routes, to just make you, accustomed with what is going to happen. And after the 2 hours is done, you go to the exam center. Just a disclaimer before we proceed, this is the whole process which I chose because I want to be more comfortable, more confident. You can still choose a different exam package, or you can rent a different car, you can take your friend's car, you can choose it your way, you can make it less expensive. But we wanted to do it this way. We wanted to do it in the most secure way to get it all done in the first step. So this is my experience, this is my journey. Exam day. Yes. So you go to the exam. First, you're going to pay the money for it, which is around like 80 euro something, and you pick a number. With this number is like you have a route with it, and you also have 2 maneuvers, which I will explain. So once you pay, and then they're not going to take you straight to the car. You have another test, risk perception test, another test with a computer. And this test, you have like 5 questions, and I think you have to score at least 6 out of 10. It's like they give you videos and all risky situations and ask how you would react. The same thing follows. I think it's in Dutch and you have a translation. You have this stupid headset. The same trauma follows. So after this risk perception, you don't know your score. You just go straight to the car. And why I say go with a driving school is because they just don't say, yeah, start driving. They ask you a lot of theoretical questions, or like a lot of questions like where's the fuel, this wiping, the lights and everything. So when you go with a driving school, you're actually fully prepared. And I am telling you, the examiner already judges you with how confident you are, how like your body language is, how you answer. He already has an opinion. If you're gonna be stammering out there, it's gonna be like, okay, the person is not prepared. So now the exam. So in the car, there were 4 people. Me, and also my instructor from the driving school, and the examiner, and also again a translator. So this time you have to hire a translator if you need it in English or any other language. So a translator costed me 100 euros, but I don't know, today it's all index and everything, maybe a bit more, but I paid 100 euros. So the exam. So the exam happens for 1 hour. So what you have is, first, like I said, you pick a number. That number has a destination, and it also has 2 maneuvers. Like you have 6 maneuvers in total, but you have to perform 2 in your exam. So first, as soon as you go, you're going to put your phone, you're going to take your Waze or maps or whatever is comfortable, and the language has to be in Dutch. Yes. And you need to put a destination. That's the first step you go. So you just follow the maps. The translator is going to tell you in English, and you reach the destination. Once you reach the destination, the examiner takes over. He tells you the directions, translator translated in English, you hear it and you drive. And at any point, he's going to stop you and he's going to ask you to do a maneuver. So what I got was, there is always a parallel parking in your exam. There's always. I don't know if anybody finished their exam without it. I had a parallel parking and turning in a street. And in order to perform the maneuvers, you have 3 attempts. Like 3 trials, and you cannot hit the pavement. You hit, you fail, do the whole trauma again. When I did my parallel parking, I did it right on the 3rd attempt. When I was doing the 3rd time, I could hear my heartbeat for real. It was so bad. Like I knew if I'm gonna hit it, it's all over again. But yes, I didn't hit it. I parked it right. It was okay. So you finish your exam, and then you come back to the exam center, and then the examiner is going to give his final verdict, which the translator will translate. We did it in the 1st attempt. Thank God. Once this is done, you go back to the exam center and you get a proof that you have passed, and after which you again apply to the commune and you get your permanent driving license, which is valid forever. And also, like I said, every time you go to the commune, you need to pay for the cards. Every card is around 30 euro or something. Nothing is free, bro. Honestly, nothing is free. Everything comes with the money here. So once you got your permanent card, so the next step, you think the whole trauma has ended. Partly, but not fully. This is Belgium. So the next step is a return moment. God knows why. I have no idea why this return moment is placed. So this return moment has to be done in 6 to 9 months once you've got your permanent driving license. So you can book it online. It's just, yeah, you have to pay 125 euro per person, something like that, and you can go. So this return moment, whole return moment, is also done in Dutch. Yes, I don't know why it's also done in Dutch. You just go sit there. It's not an exam or something. It's just a return moment to, like re-emphasize on important stuffs like how you can prevent accidents, or how you are like immature sometimes. You need to be more focused in situations like that. So basically it's a group discussion which happens in Dutch. Yeah, we had a good person who kind of said the important things in English. And after the group discussion, you have like 3 activities. Like one activity where you get different types of goggles to see how it feels when you are drunk, you have drugs in you, how it feels, to make you aware of, you cannot drive like that. And the other one is like when it is super rainy and how can you handle, like, it's always rainy in Belgium. It's Belgium. And the other one is how to put a sudden brake in case of emergency or something. So these are the 3 trials, fun activities, nothing serious. You're not going to do good. They're not going to scold you. It's okay. It's fine. And once you're done with this, nothing. They just say bye. And that's how this whole process ends. But at the end of this process, you're open to a whole world of freedom. Like you can just take a car and drive anywhere in this world. Honestly, it's so much freedom, and it's like the most essential thing everyone should have, in my opinion. It's worth it. So today, if you're just seeing me driving, you're gonna think like, oh yeah, she drives a cool car to work. She's got a rich husband. It's all daddy's money. No, it's all my work. I went through every single process to be where I am. So before you could judge someone online or just think whatever it is, there's so much behind the scene, and this is an example of what it actually takes to be where I am today. what it actually takes to drive, what it actually takes to just step out and just take a car. It's not easy, but it is what it is. With this, we come to the end of the session. If you're still alive watching this, good for you. So if you have watched my face this long, I hope this video was useful in some part, or at least you were enlightened of what it takes to get your driving license in Flanders. Brussels has different rules, I guess. The Wallonia region has different rules, but this is what takes in the Flanders, which we are in, where Ghent is in. So I hope this was helpful. And if you have any questions in general, you can always comment it or send us a message in Instagram. We're always happy to help. Thank you for watching, and like I always say, my +1 is literally dying at this moment and I have to go. Time to sign off. Bye bye.